Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had so many questions. How do we record an episode? Where do we find background music? How do we get our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places that people like to listen? And where do we find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. Anchor makes it simple to get up and running. You can upload and schedule your podcasts ahead of time. It publishes to all the major podcast platforms. You can easily check your stats. I could go on, but instead, why don't you go and get started? Go to anchor.fm/start to join the e-commerce minute and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
It's the E-commerce Minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts, Bart Mraz and John Suter. The E-commerce Minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's E-commerce Minute, episode 210.
In today's episode, Brandless gets physical with pop-up store.
Brandless is joining the ranks of online retailers testing the waters of bricks and mortar retail. Starting May 1st, my favorite $3 grocery and personal care website is launching a pop-up store. For 2 weeks, they will operate Pop-Up with a Purpose in a 3,500 square foot storefront in the West Hollywood area of Los Angeles. But they'll be there not so much to sell you something. Products will be on display to taste or try, but not to purchase. Instead, it's more like a 2-week-long speaker series where experts in health, wellness, social good, beauty, and entrepreneurship are invited to give talks to the community. Co-founder and CEO Tina Sharkey says the purpose of the store is not to move product, but to better connect with its socially conscious consumers. Sharkey says it's also a way for the company to learn more about its existing fans and to develop new ones. Along with being affordable, all products are $3, many Brandless products are organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, or vegan. They've also established themselves as an anti-brand without the hype or brand tax normally associated with packaged goods. This is reflected in their minimal packaging and digital presentation. Brandless also donates meals to Feeding America every time someone shops at the site. It has already donated nearly 1 million meals. In conjunction with the pop-up event, it will donate 10 meals on behalf of every attendee who comes and 5,000 meals on behalf of every speaker. Brandless is doing good.
Isn't Brandless a non-brand brand?
It's the non-brand brand, and this is totally a branding exercise. So this is what you would call an ironic oxymoron or something like that.
Something like that. I mean, I understand they're like brand tax, but they're still brand.
Well,
Brand
when you say brand tax, it's like you pay for all the
I know
packaging.
major. Yeah, you're paying for the big CPG.
Yeah,
blah blah
right.
blah. I get it, but they're really doing well with what they do. I do like their products. It's really good. You're obsessed with them.
I love them.
You're obsessed with every single one of these things. Although there's some things you said that they're just, yeah, I've seen something on the site and I was like, okay.
Yeah, so to keep the $3 price point, you may have a smaller portion size, but their snacks are great. I haven't really tried any of their personal care stuff. They just rolled out a bunch of personal care items, like tissues, but the tissues are not from trees. I don't know what they're made out of, but it's got to be something gluten-free, I'm sure.
Small batch.
So Brandless appeals to the hippy-dippy consumer. It's also there's a study that said millennials, my favorite subject, they're less brand loyal than their parents and grandparents.
Yeah.
Which is great for retailers because if it's quality goods, then they don't care about brands and they want to save some money.
Well, it's also a lot less are shopping in the store, right? So like, I don't know how about you, but like when I go to like CVS or right, like to get say deodorant, right? I don't look right anywhere else. It's whatever my eye level looks like, right? So every single CPG company is fighting for that because they want the eye level, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do you do eye level in an online world? You don't, and then it's a different play. It's got to be socially conscious like these guys and all those things. So
yeah, that's a great point.
Right. So doing this pop-up the way they're doing, I think is kind of cool. Like they're giving back to the community. It's going after their social conscious thing. It's not just an exercise in being retail, right? But see what happens with it. I mean, they have to have some discounts or whatever else when you do it, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. The pop-up is a fantastic idea. And of course, in Los Angeles, that'll play really well with all the hippy dippies out there. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see them maybe, take this out on the road and get, bring it to Philly, or bring it to another city. The one thing that always in the back of my mind with Brandless is they really, everything is surrounded on the $3 product. How sustainable is that going to be?
It is because if you look at it from a perspective of you can't just look at, I mean, they probably look at product by product. So they're figuring that out, but they're probably looking at it as a full shot. So like, think about what you buy from. You're not going to buy one $3 product either from them, right?
You really can't because of shipping.
Right. So they want you to buy more, and it's $3, but so it's a mass scale thing, right? So the more people buy, the more subscribers they get, the less the products are going to be. So the $3 is actually it's pretty sustainable.
So some things might be a loss leader, some things may be a slim margin, and other things like, I don't know, the bags of chips that I buy, they may only pay, 80 cents for it or whatever.
Right. So they're making money on it, but that coffee cup, you're not going to buy the coffee cup all the time, but it's still a play for them. So, in the general scale, I think they're going to be fine. And then the idea that it's cheap products, I mean, it's like the upgraded version of 99-cent store.
Well, yeah, that was the analogy I was going to make. It's they're kind of mimicking, they're basically mimicking the dollar store model. But the quality of the products are really good.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
So yeah, I mean, you look at sort of Aldi or Liddy or Trader Joe's. You can't really look at, but it follows that kind of thing.
Yeah, like Trader Joe's. There's nothing cheap in Trader Joe's, but everything in Trader Joe's is their brand, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everything, or just a good.
Yeah, I think it's a good portion, but I don't think it's everything that's their brand. No, it's not everything their brand.
Yeah, but
when's the last time you were at Trader Joe's?
What's funny? I was going to go there today because somebody turned me on a product that I want to get there that I will reveal at a later date. Yeah, so Trader Joe's. So I think talking about the brand loyalty, you talk about people go to Trader Joe's, I mean, people rave about Trader Joe's. I mean, there's whole websites dedicated to things that you should buy at Trader Joe's. I mean, what was the guy that did, have you heard this story? The guy that set up the store in Canada because they had no Trader Joe's. So he called it Pirate something or else. And he would literally drive a truck to Trader Joe's, buy a ton of goods, and then drive them back across the border and sell them in his bricks and mortar store in Canada.
Yeah.
He did it for a number of years and he got sued. And I think he finally, and people loved it. Because they couldn't get Trader Joe's in Canada. But I think he finally closed the store. I should look that up. All right. Anything else, Dad?
No, that's it.
All right. Show notes are at ecommerceminute.co, and we're proud to announce that the E-commerce Minute podcast is now available on Radio Public. Just go to radiopublic.com and look up E-commerce Minute. You can listen to the show there, or do the usual: subscribe, go to our website, listen on anchor.fm, or any of the major podcast ways that you get your podcasts. We're there. That's your E-commerce Minute. That's your E-commerce Minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow. Wherever you get your podcast. That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe, or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the E-commerce Minute on your Amazon device. Just add E-commerce Minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion, or just want to say hi, find us on social media at Sumo Heavy.